Hey guys, how you doing? This is Jonathan Trailer with Hope with Jonathan. Hey guys, I wanted to give you guys a video here, a live feed. My patient that I was going to do an interview with, she's running a little bit behind. She had a delay. I'm not real sure if we're going to get to do a video tonight. We may, but I wanted to give you guys a video. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour and a little bit of a brief explanation, a little education on home hemo and home hemodialysis and the setup and the whole nine on it. So if you are a kidney dialysis patient and maybe you're in center and you're not really liking in center and you're looking for options as far as maybe another style of treatment, you may be looking at possibly doing home hemo. There's PD, which is peritoneal dialysis, which that's a whole nother type of ball game. Kind of a similar concept though. You're doing it at home, doing it at night. You still have to have supplies. It's just instead of hemo using your blood in a vein in your arm, there you have a tube in your stomach, and they surgically implant the tube so that you can, go ahead and have dialysis that way. It's a whole nother process. And some of my other buddies out there, some of my other friends, they chose PD. I ended up having to go on hemo. It really, honestly, I woke up on hemodialysis. If you know about my story, I woke up on home hemo, or I was on hemodialysis. And I was in center for 10 months, and then I transferred out of in center and went on to home hemo. And so hopefully you guys will enjoy this little video, this live stream on home hemodialysis. I'm fixing to get rid of this machine. It's fixing to leave my house and all the supplies. So I wanted to go ahead and do this real quick and give you guys a little bit of explanations and a little bit of kind of a tutorial video on it. So here you go. This is my apartment, so never mind the mess. If you see anything, don't make fun of me. But this is the home hemo machine. This is with Next Stage, and it's basically just like a computer. It's got a touch button screen right there on the front. It's kind of, I think they have a newer model out that's got, maybe more bells and whistles than this one. But yeah, it's pretty sophisticated. I don't have it on right now. I probably should have plugged it in, let you guys see it on. But all of these right here is like a little LCD screen, and these right here, and They basically tell you your different levels of your venous and your all your different your efficiencies and the rate of blood flow, all that type of stuff. It tells you. This is your stop button, hitting the kidney right here. That's like getting the machine going. That's the go ahead and start after you prime. There's all kind of different levels and buttons and settings that you can get into, and you can design this machine and to do different has different alarms and different things like that, and you can you can set this machine up to alarm every time you need to have your blood pressure checked, all that type of stuff. It'll tell you, and trust me, if something goes wrong, this machine will let you know too. So if you get if you're leaking, which there's a drain down here. So if you start leaking, whatever it may be, dialysate or blood or whatever, there's a little alarm right here, and it'll start beeping and chiming. And basically this machine, once you get it going and primed, you can open it up, and I'll show you this inside. That's basically what the inside of the machine looks like. And this machine weighs about, I don't know, it's like 60, 70 pounds. And there's handles on the side to be able to pick it up. And then there's let's see, this is the warmer. So this right here is your warmer, and you can get this warmer, turn it up to where it's pretty warm. You want your dialysate to be warm when it goes in your body. You do not want it to be cold. For one thing, it causes your body to be just, once it hits your bloodstream, you can imagine if anything cold hits your bloodstream, it causes you to be cold. And, you're freezing. And dialysis patients, when your kidneys aren't functioning, the way they should, most of us are pretty cold-natured. So that's why when you go into dialysis clinics, we're all wrapped up in blankets and stuff, is, you're cold-natured. And also that dialysate, if it's cold, it'll make you shiver. It's bad. You don't really want it. Plus, it can cause false readings in your blood pressure as well. So you got to be careful with cold dialysate. You want to make sure it's warm, and that's why they give you this warmer right here. And these are the straps that hold the dialysate down. This bag, I should have had a bag in here. I didn't have a bag. And then here's the IV pole, or the dialysate pole that you would hang. I would have 4 bags up here, 1 bag right here. So I was on 5 bags, and everybody's different. Here's the saline little miniature pole, and here's a bag of saline right here. This is what you would hang right here on this pole right here, to basically it would help prime the cartridge. Okay, so about half of this fluid would prime the cartridge, and then you'd want this bag hanging there and attached to the lines. And I'm going to show you all that in case you need fluid, because sometimes when you're on dialysis and you're running and your blood's being cleansed and all that, your blood pressure will start dropping. And if your blood pressure starts dropping to too much of a dangerous level, you can actually give yourself fluid, and it will help get you back into a healthy level to where your blood pressure will come back into a normal range most of the time. I had situations at some points where I ended up having to, actually drink water after treatment because I just didn't have enough fluid back in me after they took too much fluid off. These right here is some connector lines. And this connector line would hook the bags of dialysate into the cartridge. So this right here is your connector lines, okay? Or they nicknamed them chicken feet at my location. And then this right here was another line. This is basically your waistline or your PP line, however you want to call it. This line would go actually from the cartridge all the way over to my sink in there in the kitchen. And it would drain out all the waste. That was my waistline. And then right here are my 2 needles. Then one would be for the venous and one would be for the arterial. And these are blunt needles. But this is what would go into my arm. And Melissa would do the sticking, my caretaker. And this right here is a cartridge. And the cartridge would fit right inside that machine right there. Okay? And actually, I probably should close this up because the mirrors on this machine are not supposed to get dirty. So I'm going to lock it back up. That way it doesn't get messed up. It's a very expensive machine, and I don't want insurance trying to say I messed it up. But anyway, so this cartridge would come out. You would put the cartridge inside there. I don't want to waste the cartridge. These are expensive too. someone, I'm going to make sure and probably donate these to somebody that needs them. But anyway, because I've already contacted Next Stage and they don't want any supplies back. So I'm going to see about where I can find maybe some other people that are maybe on home hemo in the local area that I'm going to try to get in touch with possibly and give them my supplies if they want them. But anyway, this right here is the dialyzer. This is where your blood would circulate through and filter out all the toxins and waste that would be in my blood. And these are the tubes and the lines. So when you had a bag of dialysate hanging here, and then the cartridge was here hooked to the connector lines, and with the waste line, they would all be hooked into this cartridge right here. And I probably should have had my wife and me set up a mock system and go ahead and set it all up and let you guys see exactly how it ran. It's quite sophisticated and kind of scientific, really. It's almost like watching a science experiment. This Next Stage machine, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty amazing. You're able to do your home treatment, here and relax in your own home setting and do basically the same thing they do in center. Did I have issues? Did I have problems? Sure, I had some issues. I actually had 3 different machines. First machine they sent me just continuously alarmed for all kind of different reasons, and I had to eventually just call them. And then finally they gave me another machine, and that machine had some issues, and then I ended up with this one. But right here is some supplies. These are your basically like sanitary napkin. They're like, they call them chucks. These are basically to absorb any fluids. I used a little like TV tray, I used like a little tray table that it was like a side table, and I would use that to, we'd lay that down, and then we had to prime and prep. So my wife would start priming the machine. I will tell you, if you go on home hemo, the main thing that you will be doing is setup. Setup and prep time is crucial. Setup and prep time is what's going to take most of the time. If you're quick and easy, and I'll explain toward the end what you can do and give you some tips to set up quicker. But what you can do is while you if you have a care partner and they're setting up and priming the machine, that takes about 20 or 30 minutes, okay, for the cartridge and the saline solution and your dialysate and all that to get primed, okay, and get ready. And you'll have your bag on your warmer. And I should tell you that this little area right here, if you're wondering what this is, this holds your dialyzer. Your dialyzer pops right into there. But your main thing you'll be doing is prep time, okay? So while my wife was doing all that, I would lay out the chucks, and I would get the alcohol pads, the wipes, the betadine. And they had something called paws that they wanted us to use. So I had these, and these are gauze. And then my wife had to get the syringes out, and we had to get the heparin ready. And that little bottle right there, if you can see it, that's a bottle of heparin. Okay, that is an anticoagulant for your blood, so your blood doesn't clot while you're on the machine. So you had to inject the heparin, and that was done at the beginning of the treatment. And then this is a box of tourniquets, and of course you got your medical tape. And what I did was I went out to I forget the store where we bought it at, but it's almost like an automotive store, but it's almost like kind of like a Home Depot. It's a little smaller one. I want to say it's not. What is it? It's a tool shop, but it's like a retail tool shop. And I bought this. It's basically for a mechanic. That cart right there that you're looking at, and that cart will hold like 250 pounds. So the machine itself is like 70 pounds, and then when you get the dialysate and all the bags on it, it probably weighs, there's probably at least 100 to 125 pounds on there of weight, maybe even more. I'm just giving you a ballpark. But this right here, this cart was amazing because I was able to push this cart and push it out of the way after treatment, which was great. And kept it away from my pets and kept it away from my kids and kept it away from everything. So it was an amazing, amazing cart to find, and only paid like $50 for it. And me and my son Jet, shout out to Jet, he helped me put this thing together, and we put it together in about an hour or so. And it really helped. It was very crucial in my treatment. Now I'll show you down here at the bottom. I have all my supplies on the cart. As you can see, all the supplies. This cart, we like to be organized. So in the back over there is gauze. And as you can see, I got boxes of gloves right there. One set for my wife and one set for me. I'm an extra large. As you can see, I got pretty large hands. I got a whole bunch of medical tape. I've got all the betadine, alcohol, paws, all my syringes, a lot of different syringes. I got 10 mil syringes and I think 5 mil. I've got a box of heparin right there, and I've got my needles. So now that you've seen all of that, and we've pretty much covered a lot of different things. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how you can basically set up. Let me turn the camera back around toward me. So here's how you can set up a little bit quicker when you're on home hemo. After your treatment, go ahead and hang your bags for the next treatment. Hang your bags, get everything laid out. Like on my cart, this is exactly how I had my cart every night. I would have my new cartridge for my next treatment. I'd have my connectors. I'd have my connectors, my waistline, and the bag of the saline bag, and then we'd go ahead and have it all ready. And that cuts out a lot of time for your prep, because like I said, your prep is your main thing. Your prep is gonna take you, like I said, about 30, 40 minutes. You got to prime the machine every time. You can't just hook up after you hang your bags and all that. You can't do that. You got to prime the machine. And like I said, that takes up a lot of your time. So what you want to do is get it all out and be ready for your next treatment. That way, the night before. So what I did was my treatments were not over until I went ahead and got all my other supplies, because we had a process after you got off treatment or got off the machine. Of course, you had to do your blood pressure, and we had to get a weight and all that stuff. And then I would go back in the back, and I'm going to show you back in the back. I'm going to walk you back there. I had to get all my supplies. All the supplies was the cartridge, the waistline, the connector line, and the saline bag. I had all my other supplies, right here on the cart. So I didn't have to really go get a bunch of stuff. And you're probably wondering where I got all the supplies from. Did I buy them? No. My dialysis center would supply us with most of this stuff. So any of these things, like your needles, your chucks, your saline, your alcohol pads, your betadine, your paws, your all that stuff came. Now the heparin was shipped to me from a medical company, and they would call once a week to see if I needed more heparin. And the saline bags I got from my center. Now the connector lines, the waistline, and the cartridges I got from Next Stage, and they would actually send those to me by UPS. But I'm gonna walk you. Excuse my apartment. There's some of the boxes of Dialysate that I would use. Okay, and I kind of stored them everywhere. And I was actually given a great gift from my center. This was my medical chair. Right now I have it covered up because my cat will claw this thing to death. I have a beautiful tuxedo cat, and we have a beautiful Maine Coon orange cat. So we cover it up. They lay on it sometimes, but they will never claw the leather. I make sure of it. I do not want them to claw it. But actually, this was going to be disposed of at my dialysis center. They had it out by the trash can. And I asked them if I could have it, and they said, sure, it's out by the trash. We don't want it anymore. We don't need it, whatever. It's because it was damaged. It has some damage on it, and they could no longer use it. Well, the damage didn't really bother me, and I brought it home, and I was able to use it, and it helped me out a whole lot. I don't know what this medical chair costs retail, but I'm sure it's pretty expensive. And I'm actually going to be probably finding someone local here that may be on dialysis and maybe giving it away, maybe giving it to someone in need. And I'm hoping to find someone because, to be honest with you, we just don't have room to store it right now. But I'm going to take you back in the back and show you guys. And excuse my kids. I have kids, so they hang their clothes sometimes in the hallway. But so this area right here, and some of the boxes my cat has been getting on and clawing, and he's a mess. But I've been trying to keep him off of them. I haven't been able, since I've been home, to get rid of these boxes yet. But this is another. Let's see. 4 and 5, that's another 20 boxes. So you've seen about 10 in there. That's about another 20 boxes. That's about 30 boxes. This is really nothing. When I would get my supplies delivered here, I would get between 50 to 70 boxes. My very first supply run was about a 74 order. I had about 74 boxes, and I actually had to I had the guy bring them in the house and put them in the living room, and then I would bring them in here and organize them. And so, like I said, if this video is basically about trying to help somebody learn if they're going to go on home hemo. I'm just trying to give you an idea. Number one, you got to be organized. Number two, you got to have the room to do it. If you don't have the room to store all the boxes, all the supplies, you're going to be in trouble because they could show up at a delivery and bring you, whatever you needed, and sometimes they bring extra. So you may end up with 60, you may end up with 70, maybe end up with, I've heard some people get 80 boxes, maybe even more. So it all depends upon your how many bags of dialysate you're using and everything like that. Let me show you guys a little bit more. So every treatment, I was using 5 boxes, or 5 bags. So I did 1, 2, and each one of these boxes is 2 bags, okay? 2 bags of dialysate. And yeah, my cat, he's pretty vicious. He's been ripping some of this stuff up. But as you can see, this right here is a bag of dialysate. That's 1 bag of dialysate right there. And each one of these boxes weigh probably about 30 pounds. So imagine when you get a load, when you get a delivery, you got to be willing and be strong enough to be able to lift these boxes. That's another thing you got to keep in mind is where you're going to store the boxes, and you got to realize it's a workout. So like when I would get done organizing all my boxes and all my supplies, man, I would be broke out in a sweat because I'm telling you, each one of these boxes is about 25, 30 pounds. I'm not kidding. You can ask my wife. You can ask my kids. And I would try to do it on my own. Sometimes the family would join in. Other times they wouldn't. I had to do it by myself, which was fine. But I'm showing you guys this to just try to help you out and let you know what it's going to consist of if you go on home hemo. This is another box of cartridges. And this is what the box looks like. They're laid in here. Box of cartridges. This right here is all the information, all the training that we was on. By the way, my wife told me Harbor Freight is where we bought our cart. So we bought the cart that we keep the next stage machine on. We bought it at Harbor Freight. I believe it was 49 or 50 some odd dollars. This is all the information, so be prepared. We went through training in about 3 weeks. And as you can see, we was really organized. This is all my wife's doing right here. She has a folder here on alarms. We knew what every alarm was. There's codes here. There's all kind of information. I'm not going to get completely into that because it entails a lot. There's a whole lot of information in all of these books. A lot of training, a lot of time went into all that. And we'll forever keep that just in case we ever need to use it again. But I pray we do not. And this right here used to store all of our sheets and stuff like that and blankets. And we ended up using it for all the supplies. Okay. So I've got about a week's worth of Dialysate in here that I use for my treatments. I've got a box of saline in there. I've got a blood pressure machine, an extra one that I guess I got from transplant. I've got about 3 around here. This is more cartridges. And as you can see, we was very organized. We knew where everything was at any given time in case we ever needed to pull anything. We had everything separated and labeled. So we had syringes, connector lines, and then we had drain lines. We got boxes of drain lines in here. We got connector lines here. I got my ice packs. When you do your blood work, they would ask for us to mail in the blood work. You had to put ice packs in your boxes. Here's some of your boxes right here. This is a pack for sending your blood. And this was the machine that stirred your blood. I forget the name of it right now. I'm drawing a blank because I haven't used it in a while. Off the top of my head, it was basically it was given to us from DaVita. If Missy can help me on the name of that, if she's watching, I want to say the fuse. Well, someone will help me. You guys know centrifuge. That's what it is. Centrifuge. It just came to me. This is a centrifuge that you can. It stirs your blood and helps your blood not coagulate and all that stuff. And because it's got to be shipped, you gotta mix it up. And it separates. Missy, help me with that. It separates the plasma, right? It separates the plasma, and all that stuff. That's an awesome machine right there. Like I said, dialysis to me, and especially home hemo, was like doing a science experiment. You had all kind of different aspects of. It was like just very scientific to me. And down here is just more Dialysate. And like I said, if you go on home hemo, be prepared because you're going to need a ton of space. I had to have all this, in this closet. And it took up all my hallway here. My hallway. And usually these boxes were stacked. They were up here. So I kind of ran through because normally I kept about 70 boxes in here. And let me try to get back in here. So like I said, I got more over here. It spins the blood, so the lab work. So when they do the lab work, okay, that's what it is. So I had more boxes over there. Usually they were stacked way high over there, and over here is the machine. Next stage machine. I gotta be honest with you, it's an awesome machine. We had a couple of issues with we had some issues with alarms. Like I said, we had about 3 machines. Customer service was willing to help, but we did have some issues with delivery. So like they were using a third-party company out of San Antonio, and sometimes they would bring a delivery when I didn't need a delivery, and then sometimes when I needed a delivery, I was like, where are they at? Are they coming on a Wednesday or Thursday? So sometimes it was a little bit unorganized, but that was just for my local area. But again, this is the machine. Like I said, it took us about 3 weeks to get trained on it, learn everything, learn all the alarms, learn how to do the setup, the priming of the machine, learning how to stick in a fistula. I had buttonholes, so that's, to make it more easier. I had buttonholes. If it was easier, sometimes it was hard to find the track in my buttonholes, and my venous was working fine, but my arterial started acting up a little bit toward the end of my treatments with home hemo. And just thankful to God. Thanks be to God, I ended up getting transplanted. Actually, the day that I was supposed to go in to get my access looked at, I actually was at the hospital to get my transplant. So my wife got to call them and tell them, hey, Jonathan's not coming to his appointment because he got transplanted. But guys, this is just a generalization, and I ran through it real quick just to give you guys an idea of what home hemo life was like. If you're on home hemo, you may have some other tips and ideas other than what I said. You may have been on it a lot longer than me. I was only on it, for like 4 months. So 3 to 4 months, give or take. And I was just blessed enough to, we also did not allow our cat or pet ever to come in here or even get on the machine or even touch the machine. As a matter of fact, he pretty much left the machine alone. He would come in, look at it, and be like, nah, I don't even want to mess with it. So he never messed with it. He never touched it or anything. We always keep our cat and our pets away, from all this stuff. So, but right now he's enjoying jumping on those boxes because he feels like that's like a high post for him to go sit on right now. But they're fixing to be out of here. I wanted to do this video real quick to kind of give awareness for dialysis for people that are maybe considering home hemo. Just remember, you guys are going to have to realize that you're going to have, number one, you're going to have space, and you're going to have to, learn how to set up. You're going to have to, learn the alarms on the machine. You're going to have to know what to do in case of an emergency. My first couple of treatments here, the power went out. My wife had to exercise an emergency rinse back. They will train you, hopefully, in your center on how to do an emergency rinse back. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not very it's not easy to do. It's you got to twist on the bag of saline just to kind of really push that blood back. So you got to manually push that blood back by putting pressure on the saline bag. I can't really show you how to do that right now, but you can look it up. I'm sure there's videos on it. Maybe on YouTube there may be some videos, and there's a lot of different content on YouTube for next stage products and next stage videos. I'm not praising home hemo. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying that home hemo is for everyone, and I'm not saying that I'm not advocating for you to go on home hemo. All I'm trying to do is give you an idea of what life would be like on home hemo. For me, it was a positive experience because it got me out of the clinic, and then COVID hit in March or February or whatever, and we were having to wear masks, and I was in center with a lot of patients that were already really sickly, and some of them would mess on themselves at the center, and they had all kind of issues in center. And I also felt like sometimes I didn't know whether or not it was clean enough or sanitized enough, because they would just move so quick and bring you right back in, And then I worried about flu season. And then I also was concerned about the schedule. I was on TTS, so I had to be there, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, every Saturday. So going to this machine right here, I was able to get my weekends back, okay? And I was able to do treatment anytime I wanted, which pretty much consisted of nighttime. I'd sit here, watch TV, and do my treatment. Was it always easy? No, it wasn't. Sometimes we was like, oh man, we got to go home and do treatment. We'd be out and about doing things, having a great day, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh man, got to go home and do treatment. But the flip side of that was I wasn't stuck in center. Also, while I was on home hemo, my fluid levels were better. My blood pressure pills, medication, I dropped 2 blood pressure medications. My numbers were great. My phosphorus numbers, my cholesterol, my A1Cs. I had a lot more energy from doing more treatments. You got to think 3 treatments a week times 4 is 12 treatments. I was doing 5 treatments a week at 3 hours each one. So, you do the math. I was doing 5 times 4, that's 20. So I was doing like 8 more treatments a month, okay? 8 more treatments a month really added up for me. It didn't allow the toxins to build up. Didn't allow the phosphorus to build up. If I did eat something that, or, snuck and ate or cheated something, like ate something that I shouldn't have, I knew I was coming home to do a treatment. I felt better about that. I knew I didn't have to wait a day or wait a little while, maybe over the weekend. I knew I didn't have to wait. I could go home and do a treatment, and that was going to cleanse my blood, and I felt better about that. Now, that didn't mean that I cheated every night, because I didn't. But like sometimes, hey, we're all human. I'm just being real with you. Sometimes, you're going to eat something that, it looked good and you wanted it. So you ate it. There was time for, 90% of the time I was on my diet for sure. I was on transplant list. I was one of the most compliant patients at my center. My phosphorus levels were always within range, and potassium and all that stuff. I was real careful. Like I said, I cut out dairy, I cut out cheese, I cut out potatoes, I cut out beans, I cut out all kind of stuff that, if you'd have told me I was ever able to do that, I would have said, no way. But I was able to do it. Again, and give you guys there's the machine, next stage machine. They confronted me in my center and asked me if I wanted to do it. They felt like I could learn it, and I got involved in the program. Me and my wife both. 3 weeks, and then we graduated, got certificates, and now with the knowledge that we have, if someone came in here with that was on dialysis, my wife and me could probably treat them if we needed to. Not saying we're certified nurses or anything. I'm just saying as much knowledge as we have right now about this machine and about the setup and the pump, the priming and all that, we have enough knowledge that we could probably treat someone if we needed to. But if you decide to go on home hemo, it's best to be as organized as possible, or you'll have supplies everywhere and you'll be fumbling around trying to figure out where this is or where that is. And if it's in a time of need, you'll be in trouble. So like I said, it's best to be organized. Just trying to give you some tips if someone watches this. Like I said, then after your treatment, get your supplies ready for the next treatment. Go ahead and hang your bags on the Dialysate, and get your cartridge ready, get your connector line bag ready, get your waistline ready, get all your supplies ready, because the more organized you are, the less time you got to spend to prep. And you also have to cleanse. You have to sterilize the machine every night, so you have to wipe it down. We used Clorox wipes, and you never wipe the inside of the machine. Basically, you just use a cloth, not wet, but a cloth. So the inside of the machine has mirrors, and I'll open it up one more time. There's some mirrors in there. You can't really see it, but there's some mirrors in there that they do not want to get any kind of film on, or any kind of dust, debris, blood, any of it. They don't want anything in there, because your blood never reaches inside there. The blood's stay in the tubes, in the lines. So I'm gonna shut that back up. But yeah, so that's basically You know, you got, like I said, you got to sterilize the machine after each treatment, and you wipe that down. Probably the inside of the machine we wipe maybe like once every couple of weeks, and like I said, that was just to kind of dust it. And my wife's trying to tell me something on here. I was also trained on doing your labs and the proper procedure of the centrifuge and shipping of the blood. Yes. So my wife knew how to basically keep everything sterile, get my labs ready, draw the blood, which we draw the blood after, you know, I was stuck in my access. After I was cannulated in my access, then you would hook the you would hook in the tubes and basically draw the blood, and you were good to go. My wife, we always wore gloves. We were very much a stickler. We would always wash our hands real good, and I'm from Kentucky, so sometimes we say wash, but wash our hands real good, and then we would put on a pair of gloves. I even wore gloves when I set up and to help prime the machine and get all the supplies ready. I wore gloves for that as well. I would wear gloves sometimes during treatment, and I would we always stayed sterile, as sterile as we could in a home environment. I always, at the end of treatment, when she would take me off the machine, I always wore a glove on my glove hand. And that was my holding hand and holding the gauze and all that stuff. I always wore a pair of gloves. We were a stickler on wearing gloves. Stickler on being sterile. Stickler on, following the guidelines and everything in our training. It was very important to us. So I don't know if you guys are interested in me showing you. If you have any questions, any other questions or anything, you guys go ahead in the comments. I'm just going to walk around again, show you one more time what it's going to consist of. It's going to take a lot of space. It's going to take a ton of space. I'm lucky I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Okay. My cat's been in here and he's been shredding some of these boxes. He's been sitting on top of them using his claws, and he thinks he's a king of the mountain when he gets in there, but on top of these boxes. But again, this is a bag of Dialysate, and they're pretty heavy. They're not, these aren't light. I'm using pretty good strength to lift those, and so if you're going home hemo, you're going to need to have some strength. Again, training manuals. It's just like going to school. I mean, and they actually do give you a test at the end on all the materials. And, you be prepared to learn, be willing to learn. And again, you're going to have space. You're going to have space. Definitely. This is a closet. We'll be glad to get all these supplies out of here. They were needed. Don't get me wrong, it was a blessing to be able to do home hemo. But like I said, we'll be glad to get rid of these supplies and get our closet back. And it's basically, this is just a hall closet, but we had a lot of different things in here that we definitely need the space back. Just to give you guys an idea of what home hemo life is like, this is it. Organization, as you can see, organization goes a long way. If we need it, if my wife's like, oh, we need connector lines, I got a box right here labeled connector lines, and I always kept it full. And drain lines, I need a drain line. Well, there they are right there. Syringes, it has syringes, And all these boxes, these are cartridges. This is another box of connector lines. This is more boxes of drain lines. And all this stuff was replaceable. All you had to do was call and order it. They'd send it to you. And I hope this video is beneficial to somebody. I hope that this information will get out there. Again, I'm not advocating for home hemo. I'm just trying to show you, give you an idea of what home hemo life is like. This is, it's what it consists of. Again, these are the cartridges. Usually about six in a box, I think. And the boxes of Dialysate, again, 2 to a box. The boxes weigh about 30 pounds. So you better be, athletic enough or in shape enough to lift them. Going on home hemo is not for the faint of heart. You got to be willing to work at it, be willing to organize and lift. And, again, just trying to give you guys, again, this is the next stage machine. As you can see, organization just goes a long way. So if you're thinking about going on home hemo, right now I wanted to show you guys, I'll show you this is my medical cart. It's where I keep all my medicines. My blood pressure machine, my sugar checker, there's all my medicines in a tub. And then I can, the 3 drawers are full of just different medications that I was on either at one time but as you can see, organization. If I wasn't organized, I'm telling you, I'd be a hot mess. So I got a lot of things going on. So, when you got a lot of stuff going on, it's best to be organized. But again, this is it. Next stage machine, home hemodialysis. And this is what to expect. This is what you will be dealing with. This is what you will have to, deal with as far as supplies and how to use the machine and, what you'll be facing. So it's something to definitely think about, something to definitely, definitely contemplate, think about. Before you leave in-center, you got to realize in-center, they do all the sticking for you. They do all the cleanup for you. They do all the hookup. They store all the supplies for you. You don't have to mess with supplies. So going to this home hemo is a commitment. It's a commitment to yourself and your treatment and your life. And if it meets your lifestyle and it can benefit you, then home hemo will be great for you. But if you're, not willing to put in the work and not willing to, learn, not willing to get organized, you won't do very well at home hemo. And I believe the same principles will go for PD. So, because it's a home-based treatment. I can't speak for PD because I wasn't a PD patient, okay? But I'm just saying you have to be organized. You have to know what's going on. You have to know your machine. You have to be willing to learn that machine. You have to be organized. So, like I said, home dialysis is not for everyone. And like I said, I'm not advocating for that. I would much rather advocate for a kidney. Let me tell you, my transplant is much better than doing dialysis. I haven't done a dialysis treatment in 7 going on 8 weeks. So I'm going on my 2 month without dialysis. I can tell you, it's a lot better to get a transplant than it is to be on home hemo. Okay. And I'm blessed to be able to say that. Okay. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm a kidney advocate. Okay. Now I'm advocating for other patients. Why? Because I've already been there and I know what you're going through, and I know the pain. I know the suffering. I know all the side effects. I know what you're dealing with. I may not have been on it as long as 5 or 10 or 20 as some of the, kidney warriors out there. And believe me, you guys are warriors. I don't see how you guys stayed on it for, and done it for that long. You guys are very strong, and you're strong-minded. And I appreciate that. I look at you and I hold you in great reverence. Okay, kidney warriors out there that have been doing dialysis for a long time. It's just amazing. Okay, it's amazing. very strong-minded people, very, very, you know, disciplined. They have to be disciplined. To live a long time on dialysis, you have to be disciplined, okay? And but I was just blessed to get a transplant. And I was only on dialysis for 13 months. 13 months. So it's a blessing. And you guys stay strong out there, all you kidney warriors, and everybody that's out there that's waiting on transplant. Just keep staying positive, and that's what this show's all about, is hope. It's hope. Hope with Jonathan. Not hope for Jonathan anymore. It's hope with Jonathan. Okay? I want to give hope to you. I want to tell you that there's hope for you. Just keep believing, keep trusting, keep hoping, and praying. And stay around positive people, okay? Keep yourself surrounded around positivity. And keep believing. And I really appreciate all the love and support. And I appreciate everybody that tuned in and watched this video. Hey guys, share it. And again, get yourself checked out for kidney disease. And a simple blood test can tell you everything that you need to know. And the life you save may be your own, okay? And if you got somebody you know, or a family or a friend that may be suffering with type 2 diabetes and hypertension, those are 1 and 2 top causes of kidney disease is type 2 diabetes and hypertension. And if you know somebody out there that's suffering with those diseases and suffering with those issues, you might want to mention to them, hey, doesn't that cause kidney disease? When's the last time you had, a lab done? You might need to get checked for kidney disease, because it's a serious ordeal, okay? It's overlooked a lot. A lot of times people just are walking around with it and don't even know they got it, okay? But I just wanted to give you guys a little tutorial video, a little description of home hemo. And guys, I love you. I appreciate the support. God bless. I'm going to sign off. Hopefully, I'll be on again with Mary, and we're going to advocate for her a kidney, and we're going to let her tell her personal story. So look for a live video in about another 30 minutes or so. Okay? All right, y'all take care. God bless. Bye-bye.